Am I the asshole for moving out when my parents had another child? My F22 parents had a late-in-life daughter last year. I have 3 other siblings besides M27, F24, and M14. I had been living rent-free with my parents up until last year in order to save money while I completed my undergraduate degree, which my parents paid for. They also told me they would let me live with them through grad school even though they wouldn't pay for it. My parents are financially well off, and my mom has always been a stay-at-home mother. Last year when my mom found out she was pregnant, they told me they expected me to step up and help out with the baby and take on more housework. I already did a good chunk of the housework prior to this. My parents have done a lot for me, genuinely. They were pretty good parents, and are good people. I just really did not want to get roped into a role as caregiver, or even be shoved into the big sister role again. So I moved out maybe a month later, and this is verbatim what I said to them when I moved out. I appreciate everything you guys have done for me, but I feel that you're asking too much. I can't live with you and be subject to your rules indefinitely. At some point I have to move out and live my own life. So anyway, I moved out and got a place with my fiancé. My parents were very upset with me, and we haven't spoken much at all since I moved out. I've been sending a bi-monthly check to pay back the money they spent on my tuition, since I've always felt a little guilty letting them pay for it, even before I moved out. I'm honestly okay with this new situation, since my parents have always been a little overbearing. But my older sister recently told me that I'm selfish and ungrateful, and I should apologize to my parents and help them with childcare etc. I am not going to do that, and I'm not entirely convinced I did anything wrong. Am I the asshole? Edit. For people asking if my siblings are helping, my older brother 27 lives with them, but because of mental health issues, depression, I think they have never expected anything of him. My younger brother was the baby for 14 years and is honestly pretty spoiled, so I know he's not doing anything. My sister isn't living with them, but she is probably helping out if they need anything. Their anger is more based on principle rather than actually needing help, since they are very financially well off. Edit 2. A lot of people are asking if my parents paid for my siblings' educations, and the answer is no. My older brother and sister both got full scholarships to college, although my brother didn't graduate due to mental health issues. I went to an expensive private university with only a partial scholarship, and my mother was vocally against this, as she wanted me to go to a state school since I didn't get any full rides. They would never ask me to pay them back, but my mother in particular has always made me feel a bit guilty for spending so much money. I'm not sure if she was intentionally guilt-tripping. Edit 3. Sorry for the confusion on the timeline. The baby is already born, but I did move out before she was born. And I got engaged after I moved out. Edit 4. I said in a comment that I wouldn't say where my parents immigrated from, but there's no chance they'll see this anyway lol. It's Mexico, if that gives any context. Say it with me. Children don't owe their parents anything for raising them. Should you be appreciative for parents that raised you well? Absolutely, but that's literally their job they chose to take on when they chose to have kids. And they are once again choosing to have another child and go through the whole raising process again. You did not get to choose whether you wanted to be a caregiver to this child, and are in no way an asshole because you don't want to be one. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, you did the responsible thing for your mental health, and you're even doing more than expected by them with your tuition. Plus, you're engaged. They couldn't have expected you to stay forever. Congrats on the upcoming marriage and your newfound freedom. Not the asshole. Tell your older sister she should go be mommy number 2 to the baby. Not the asshole. Tell your sister if she's concerned with helping your parents' childcare, she should put her money where her mouth is and do it herself. Also, I'm not sure what, exactly, you should apologize for. Like what specifically? Not the asshole. It's their baby, not yours. You don't need to care for it. If you stayed and refused to do all the things they would ask, that would be way worse. You're at a reasonable age to move out, you seem to be able to financially support yourself, and you have a partner. It just seems like the natural thing to do. Not the asshole. You say your parents are financially well off. They can pay for childcare. And you are paying them back for tuition. You're good. Edit. Besides, you have a 14-year-old brother at home. He can pick up some of the childcare duties. Not the asshole. You did not choose to have a child, you do not have to be the third parent. Live your life. Not the asshole. I hate it when parents try to force their older children into a caregiving parental role for the younger ones. It's one thing to ask for more help with chores, that I could see potentially as reasonable, but the fact they are trying to make you, from how you phrased it, spend your time caring for a child that isn't yours is unreasonable. They shouldn't have children if they're not willing to accept the responsibility of caring for them. Not the asshole. You don't mention your sister sending money back or helping care for the new baby. Not your child. Not your responsibility. You're doing more than what most children would do by paying them back at bi-monthly intervals. Not the asshole. What are you being selfish and ungrateful about? Not accepting free housing? Declining to raise their kid for them? What is your sister babbling about? Not the asshole. How long are you supposed to remain in their home? Until you have children? Nah, sounds like they're just not ready letting go of being parents to children. This time without close contact is actually very healthy for you. I bet your family is too enmeshed with each other. Keep up your healthy boundaries. Info. Is the older sister staying with them and helping them? Is any of your siblings? Not the asshole. People move out anyway. Don't overthink this. Why would you repay then tuition? I'm assuming they paid for things for your older siblings. You don't see them repaying gifts for not moving in and being an unpaid nanny. Not the asshole. Ask your older sister to carry the burden then if she is so concerned. Not the asshole at all. Hell, you are doing more than most would regarding the tuition repayment checks. You are refocused on your family with you and your fiancé. I'm guessing your older sister is getting harassed to help out by your parents and doesn't want to either. Not the asshole. You don't have an obligation to take care of a child that isn't yours. Your parents made you, which means the stuff they did for you were just part of raising you, and parents don't get to hold that over their children's head to have them do what they want. I'm not sure if you handled it very well though. I get the impression from your post that you kind of ran away without talking to your parents about how you felt first. If that's the case, then I can understand your parents' feelings a little as well. You could apologize for how you left, but you don't need to feel bad for not wanting to raise a baby that isn't yours. Not the asshole. I think what you did was completely fair. If you lived there, I'd say you were subject to whatever requirement they put on that. Though, you moved out, so now are not subject to any child labor because you're not the one that decided to have a child. They are, or had a lack of preventative childcare means. NTA. To grad school will be stressful enough without the added distraction of a new baby. Your mother is a stay-at-home one with a teen as her youngest. She can deal with the kid herself. Your brother should be helping clean too. I hope he is, as he is old enough to help out. Don't be hard on yourself for moving out. They were wonderful to put you through school, but you need to grow too. Also, if your sister is so unselfish, she can move back and take care of this kid. Not the asshole. Parents who make their older kids be parents because they're too lazy to do it themselves are trash. They had the baby, they need to be responsible for its care. You are not an unpaid nanny, you are their child too. Not the asshole. They made an oops then broke their deal with you, changing the terms, and didn't even bother to consult you. It doesn't matter your relationship to your newest sibling. If you have been holding your end up the bargain and your mom stays at home, you are making the right call. It will be tougher for a bit. But well worth it. Good job on setting healthy boundaries with your parents. Not the asshole. You did the right thing moving out before limits were crossed. At 22 you should be building an independent life, not being a free nanny for your sibling. If your parents have the means, they can afford whatever help they need. Your parents are the asshole here for pretending to stay on your way to becoming an independent adult. I feel sorry for your younger sibling, but your parents might also be sexist and not burden a male sibling with childcare duties. Not the asshole. If you had remained living in the house, then it would be reasonable for them to expect you to do a bit more in terms of housework. What's not okay is that your two brothers don't get asked to carry their weight. It's absolutely reasonable for you to not want to take on additional responsibilities in relation to their household and want to start a new home with you and your fiancé. Not the asshole tell you sister to go be their live-in nanny. Not the asshole I had a baby recently. My 3 other kids are 21, 20 and 16. I appreciate when they offer to help but never expected I had a baby, not them. I must say though being an older mum, 42, I'm bloody knackered. Still my problem though, not theirs. Not the asshole, you trying live your life and you're even paying them back for school which most kids don't do. Not the asshole, they have 3 grown children and a teenager and chose to have another child? It's an interesting choice but it places no obligation on you to raise that child for them. And having read OP's follow-up answers in the comments, I suspect the 14-year-old is in for quite a shock when his role changes from baby of the family to only convenient helper. NTA. It's not your child to look after. Not the asshole. You were meant to be the always-on-call babysitter. Info. Are your other siblings also helping with childcare? Not the asshole. In my opinion you and your fiancé should have been living together anyway. Nah. They sound generous, but you're an adult. Everyone needs to move out at some point. You shouldn't have to deal with a sibling that's an entire generation younger than you and which you have no attachment for. You aren't obligated to co-parent because that's how this always plays out, unless you're getting paid to babysit. Maybe your oldest sister could move back in and help. How old were they when they had your oldest sibling? That's a wild age range. And I thought my grandmother's age range was nuts, 25 years, but she started at 14. They had unprotected sex. What did they expect? A free TV? Not the asshole. It's your life. If you want to raise kids you'll have some of your own or adopt or but a pet or a goldfish or something. Not the asshole. Your parents were wrong to assume that you would be available as a nanny for their late life baby and your sister has no role here. TBH, it sounds like your sister is angry that you escaped when she couldn't. I've been sending a bi-monthly check to pay back the money they spent on my tuition. If your father had any shame at all, he would be leaving your checks uncashed. Not the asshole. They are having a baby, not your responsibility to take care of it. Not the asshole. This isn't your child or your responsibility. To expect you to take care of their kid is absurd. Girl, keep those checks, you ain't asked to be born. Not the asshole. Though you picked a really dumb way to tell them that was kind of guaranteed to upset them. If you just said it was the best thing for you, or you were super excited to live with your fiancé, or you needed to it to prepare for adult life, they wouldn't be this level of ticked. Not the asshole. You have to move out sometime, why not now? You're not the asshole for moving out. You probably could have kept the focus off the new sibling and left it at you're at an age where you want to live on your own. Whether you are in the house or not though you are that child's older sibling. Not the asshole. Time to move on and forward with your life. Your younger siblings are not your responsibility, and your mother doesn't work. Least she can do is be a parent. Not the asshole. You are not the soon-to-be baby's parent. While your parents are helping you, and I'm sure you're grateful, this isn't your responsibility. Also, if your sister is so concerned, I'm sure she would be happy to help. Not the asshole. You're an adult. You have the right to move out and start living your own life. Don't let them guilt trip you. Info. What were your chores, duties and rules before your sister was born? Not the asshole. It's completely appropriate for you to move out and in with your fiancé and have your own life and family. That was kind of them to help you financially, but it does not obligate you to put your life on hold for them. Not the asshole. You're not a co-parent, you're their daughter. Info. There are a couple of issues you have glossed over. You were living at home while finishing your undergraduate degree and doing most of the housework. Does that mean that you were attending a local prestigious university and not living on campus? You said that you couldn't live under their rules indefinitely. What were these rules? Not the asshole. When my mom was in college, the parents of one of her friends had a baby. She couldn't go anywhere because she had to babysit her brother. A friend's birthday? We're tired, you take care of baby bro. A party. We have a church reunion. No one can take care of baby bro. It was almost like she was his mother nanny. Good on you for getting away on time.